Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the Premier League debate show. We're in the building. We've got some regular football fans and content creators that you all know. And we're going to discuss some topical issues that happen in the Premier League. With me today, I've got Sava coming in and stepping in. You know what I mean? Super sub. Sava, how are you, mate? Everything all good?
Yeah, what a lovely description. Yes, I'm good, thank you. I'm fit for the last 15. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Thanks for having me.
Big up.
Tottenham fit, mad.
Yeah, I'm one of the few Tottenham players that's fit.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Big up to Sava. Charlie's in the building, triumphant after his big victory at the Spurs Stadium. How are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. Yeah, still dying out on that one. Yeah, good place to be right now. We've got another big one Sunday, but yeah, mate, it's been a good week. I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely, man. Daps is in the building. Daps, big game, playing against Chelsea, but big game, man, this weekend.
Yeah, man, big game. 100%. Nice to be here, though.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Man, like Gulali, man, what are you saying, bro? He's telling me.
Man. Life
Easy
life
game
is,
on Wednesday, did you say that? Easy game on Newcastle, did you say? Should light work, did you say?
Yeah, listen, man, shit happens, and you know what? There's some fuggery in football, but apparently that's that's okay to do. But you know, I'm sure we'll get into it. But it is what it is. You know what? If anything, I don't want to hear no crap from you anyway. So please, just calm, please.
Bro, I'm just, I'm just speaking. I'm just, I'm
Please.
just.
Sometimes speak. You know what they say? Speak less.
We'll see, man. Pete, how are you, mate? Everything all good? Champions League not looking good, but you know what? It is what it is, man. You never know. Last two games.
Yeah, right. I'm all good. It is what it is. We keep rolling on, but we keep hopefully getting those points in at the weekend and keep moving up that league. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aaron, man, you know what I mean? Your opening nights, it easy, isn't it?
Bro, I've just jumped in late in it, so I'm looking at comments here, people saying mine getting cooked, and then I'm looking at the title. How have you put the title about Liverpool getting exposed? You know,
we'll get into it, man. There's context to that. There's context to that.
Yeah.
There is context to that.
Context. All right, say less.
No, we'll get into it, man. I think there's context to this, and I think, to be honest with you, Liverpool soon they'll realize what they're missing. And we'll find out. So we'll get into it step by step. But we want to discuss first that isn't, controversial, because it is something that is a reality. And that is Tottenham's injury list. Sava, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm gutted for your team, I know maybe others might not be that kind to you, but I am gutted for you. I can't lie, because I thought Tottenham were playing well. I was a bit, maybe overjoyed in what I was talking about in terms of Tottenham title talk. But, Maddison being out for 3 months is a killer. And obviously, we'll talk about the other injuries. But today, Maddison out for a couple of months, is it? Big blow, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, you got Van der Ven out until, they said, January earliest, which means that's 9 league games minimum. Same with Maddison, out until January. So that's 9 games minimum. You got Romero on a 3-game ban. A doggy with a 1-game ban. Of course, just come back from a 10-month injury. Yeah, look, it's all. Listen, I've come on here every week and said to you, Saeed, that Spurs fans getting carried away, and we need to see what happens when we actually have some adversity. When we actually, we've been able to, unlike Chelsea, unlike Man U, unlike Arsenal, we've been able to put out our best 11. We've been able to put out our best team, other than Bentancur, who we knew was injured for 10 months, right? And now we're going to see what we're made of. I didn't think it would implode because of 20 minutes of madness against Chelsea. But look, let's see. We've got to see what we're made of now. 3 of our back 4 aren't playing tomorrow away at Wolves. And we've just lost all of our creativity. And this is the problem. When you don't have a squad and when you have a good 11, this is what you're up against. So I think that what happens between now and January, we've got 9 league games. I think it's going to be win 1, lose 1, draw 1 type form. And I think we're going to take some hammerings on the way. And yeah, I think we're now going to see what does Postecoglou do when he's got more of a Conte batch of players to play with. So that's what we're up against. But No excuses here. We should have filled out the squad. Should have bought another centre half. We didn't, and our fans just started getting a little bit too happy. I see you in my chat as well, Saeed, coming and going. You know what? Winning a title, and I'm like, go away, Saeed. Stop saying it. Stop saying it.
I did because you're the only team that I want to win the league. I don't want Liverpool win the league. I don't want Man City win the league. I don't want.
I bet you don't want us winning the league, bro.
Shameless, bro.
Hang on.
It's not shameless, man. It's not.
You might want us to win the league, but it doesn't mean that we're good enough to just go, right, hang on, we were crap last year. I'll tell you what we'll do. Yeah, one summer, a couple of good players. Yeah, let's win a league title. So, look, you know me, I like to think I'm level-headed. But now
definitely.
all of a sudden, tomorrow's a big game because suddenly
off game.
But
if
this
you
is
lose
what
to Wolves, that's 2 in a row. So now you're like, then you've got Villa. Then we're away at the Etihad where I'm going to take, I don't know, it's going to be like need a kind of cricket scoreboard for that game. So bad times at the moment. Bad times.
But like this is what I was saying. Like Samuel, we spoke a lot over the summer, mate. Like obviously, of course, Spurs got a very good 11, but like multiple times you said, mate, that you know the squad depth's not there. You've always been one injury away from Eric Dyer coming into centre back. You've now got both centre backs out, and you've got Ashley Phillips that might play. The young kid from Blackburn is not kicked the ball. You've got Højbjerg who is not really serviceable. Like you know, you see it so many times. Like it's all well and good when you can field your first 11, but this is football. You can't field your first 11 every single game for a whole season. And I think now with Tottenham, look, they've lost one game. Like obviously it's against Chelsea and it's not great, and it turned out to be a disaster of the injuries and whatnot. But you know, the season's more than just that one game. But I think now you find out how good Ange is, you find out how good this Tottenham team actually is, and you find out what they can do in the face of adversity, because that's how you find out how good a team is, what they do when everything's stacked against them. Because realistically this season's everything's been perfect for Tottenham. You know, no injuries, they've played really well. Ange's won 3 manager of the month on the spin. But now you look at it, no Maddison, the drop-off is big. There's Lo Celso going there. You know, the drop-off in the centre-backs is massive. The drop-off at left-back's huge, you know. Drop-off in midfield potentially could be big as well, you know.
It's the whole spine.
This is what I mean. So suddenly you're going from this is what I mean. Like football's such fine margins. You look at it and you think Spurs doing really well. Suddenly one bad game with 2 injuries to 2 of your best players, and then suddenly the outlook's very different.
Just to say as well, just quickly. I mean, we are also one Yves Bissouma yellow away from.
Yeah. I said this before. He's already had 5 in he as well.
Yeah, so he had 4, then got a straight red.
Yeah.
Which meant that the 4 stayed. So now everyone's like, "Oh my God, is he?" And since he's been on that 4, by the way, he doesn't look half the player he was at the beginning of the season.
And it's a big deal being on. And I think the other thing as well is, look, I haven't watched too much of O'Dogie, right? But I saw him for England against Italy against England. He looks like a very good fullback, but he does look a bit rash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, and then in that game, he could have been sent off earlier. I think, and again, Romero, look, I believe it was his first red card this season, but we know he's already picked up 3 or 4 already in previous seasons. So if you're looking at them two, thinking them two and Bissouma, do I think between them they're going to miss more games due to suspensions this season? I do, right? And with your other centre back injured now, all of a sudden that becomes like we saw with Rodri, right? Mm-hmm. Certain players, if suspensions are a big deal, if they're out for 1 or 3 games, that could be a big difference. So I think I retweeted something at Chelsea Tottenham Twitter account posted of all the players you've got out at the moment. I just retweeted and put "Welcome to a title race" because that is what it is. Like it's all well and good in the opening couple of weeks. But this is what a title race is. A title race is where players get tired, players get injured, players get suspended, and you just have to roll with it. And that's where I thought Tottenham will keep doing that. And I'm not getting at Tottenham. Right? Do you know what? They've started the season really well. Their managers are one of the most likable managers I've ever seen in football. I'm sure Lee disagrees, but I find him very likable. And yeah, this whole, it doesn't matter. We're going to play the same style no matter what. Again, it's probably exactly what overall Spurs fans need as far as after Conte and Jose. But at the same time, if you really want to try and win things, you know what? When you go down to 9 men, you've got to change the way you play a little bit. You can't I get it. The fans are going to love it and go, yeah, but come on, bro. If you really want to try and win things, you can't be doing that. You can't.
Guys, I don't get why there's so much talk about Tottenham's injuries. Like, everybody's got them.
Our injury list is was ridiculous.
All of our teams, you go through Liverpool. Robertson's been out. He's out for 3 months. But I think apparently Van Dijk's injured. You go through our Arsenal team. Arsenal before the game on Saturday in St James's, they had their injuries. We've got our injuries. You know, De Bruyne has been out since the beginning of the season. Man City ain't even seen him. He's arguably their best player. You know, you've got Chelsea in the same. Well, we're all in the same boat. And let's be honest, guys. Like, who's really surprised? We've been saying this since the start of the season. You lose Maddison, you lose Van de Ven. Like, they're not going to be the same team. Like, we knew this was coming. And let's be honest. And Sav, you probably agree to this. You've already kind of alluded to it anyway. Like, Tottenham fans were aware of this too. They knew that their drop down from their main players that they've signed are not at the same level.
Hey, do you know why I think the conversation's more relevant for us than others this week is because I think when I look at Newcastle and yours have been building up, Chelsea have had like 12 or 13 at one point, first team players out. Arsenal have had 3 or 4, but it's built up. I think it's because ours was like, right, Monday night, bang. And everyone's like, oh my God, right. We're not just going from 1 or 2 are out. It's now, oh my God, we've got 2 suspensions, 3 or 4 injuries. And like you said, the squad is thin. This was always going to happen. Listen, we could win tomorrow. I don't think we will. I think the favourites tipped in Wolves' side. And then if you're Villa's front 3, you're now looking forward to playing against that back 4 on the high line. And Man City must be, Erling Haaland's going to win the Golden Boot alone just from that one game. So, look, that's why people are talking about it. But yeah, we knew this was coming. We knew that the drop-off was absolutely monumental from Romero and Van de Ven down to Dyer and, Davis is fit. Brilliant. Like Dyer and Davis. Can you imagine Dyer and Davis tomorrow in a high line?
Yeah, that's where, for me, the test comes in. Whether Ange now realizes, hold on a minute, I can't play this football. Or is he just going to do, what maybe a Jurgen Klopp would do in terms of just play the way he wants to play and not matter what the result was and kind of do him. Because remember, Jurgen Klopp did similar, didn't he, Errol, towards the start of his career when he had Lovren and he played this mad high line.
He wanted to play a high line, and he kind of the risk and the reward was there, and he decided, you know what, I'd rather do it even if I haven't got the personnel. And I think a part of his ploy was to expose the transfer committee / the owners into, you need to get me the players that can play in the system, because I'm not turning away from the system, which means these players are not fit for purpose. So it will only become more glaringly obvious the longer these have to play in a system they're not comfortable in. And as a result of that, the rest is history. Matip was already there on a free. Obviously, Gomez was good and was moldable into the high line in that system. And then it was Van Dijk to be really that linchpin in the defence for them. But again, even when we had the injury season where we'd won the league, the following season, we bounced back and we want to go again. Van Dijk gets injured. And then following there, we lose Fabinho, we lose Matip, we lose Gomez, and all of a sudden, Klopp still has to play the same high line, but he's now doing it with the likes of Fabinho in defence and Henderson dropping in as a centre-back at times as well, and it didn't work at all, but it was horses for courses at that point. I don't think things are that bad for Spurs right now. Where I would say there's probably some sort of silver lining is the fact, Savage just said then, it all happened Monday night, boom, everything's kind of, and it might seem like it's a big compounded issue there and then, but I think when you've got dribs and drabs and you're not able to form your best 11 because your left back's gone, or now you're forward or creative, and you lose players throughout so you can't gel the team, it makes it harder to really consistently build on that style. Whereas once you kind of get hit in one fell swoop, the lads that are coming in are damage limitations anyway to an extent. So it's almost as if to say, right, well, I've just got to play with the hand that I've been dealt. They're gone. So the new lads that have come in, I've got to get up to speed. Whether that's going to be up to the point that Saeed was making, if that's going to be up to speed where he realizes I can't play that system, or actually use will do for a period of time until we get the reinforcements back. That's going to be the $1 million question. You said, what is it? Wolves, Villa, then City. Yeah. At the end of those 3 games, I think you'll have answers into whether he's going to change his style of an approach, or if he's going to make do with what he's got and work with the players he's got available.
Sava, what do you think is the bigger problem, mate? Do you think Maddison being out or the defensive issues is a bigger problem for the team?
Ooh.
Look, I did a poll on this on a show I did just now. I put up Romero, Van de Ven, and Maddison as the options, and Maddison got most of the votes from Van de Ven. Look, there's 2 ways of looking at this. Spurs play a high line, right? When Van de Ven plays, you can play a high line. I think he's the quickest defender in the Premier League, if I'm not wrong. He's rapid. You can play that high line and get away with it. The thing is, you take Maddison out, where's the creativity? Maddison's got all our assists. He scores goals. He's our link-up plays, that conduit between midfield and attack. So, look, neither are ideal. I think both are equal. If I'm going to sit on the fence, I think both are equal. I think we're going to struggle to create now, and I think we're going to struggle to play a high line. So we'll see.
If you could have one back, for the next 3 games, which one are you dropping back in?
Mickey Van de Ven.
There's your answer.
Oh,
there's your answer.
That shows you how
purely for the high line. Purely for the high line.
No, I get it. But if you needed one back for the next 3, there's your answer, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, does anybody think that Tottenham will just kind of fold now here, just absolutely capitulate, or does anyone think, you know what, we're overreacting in terms of?
I don't think there's any. I still don't think there's that. If this happened other side of January, then 100% their asses would fall out, and you'd think, oh, that's our season imploded, and that gives them the perfect out for not pushing for the league without being called quote unquote bottle jobs. They would have had a cushion to fall back on as to excuses and caveats and all of those things. The fact that it's happened at this time of Christmas, I think there's still no pressure. Any good results that Spurs get, it's just a momentum builder. If they can still stay on the coattails and be within, 4 to 6, 7 points come Christmas, and then you get the reinforcements back, they might look at things and reassess. They might say, do you know what? Top 4 is all we're capable of once we've got a full fit squad, but we haven't threw away the season, so let's chase down top 4. I never thought he was going to be in a title race anyway. I just felt keeping them as close to the top of the tree as possible gave City, Arsenal, Liverpool all a welcome distraction from the 2-horse races that we've become so accustomed to.
Well, I'll tell you what else also helps is that the fact you've gone 10 unbeaten at the start of the season already, you've got like a bit of a buffer. I don't think you would have expected that. So even if you do in the next 3, say you win 1 and you lose the other 2 or whatever, you're still going to be in a half decent position. So I think it's not great, and it's not an ideal situation at all, but it would have been a hell of a lot worse if you hadn't started the season how you started it. If you were struggling and hadn't picked up that many wins, and then bam, these players are all out. Yes, it's bad, but I think given the way you've started, you can afford to have a few games where perhaps you don't play as well whilst you're trying to work out what you do without these guys, and you'll probably still be all right. I know, obviously, in the emotion of it after the game, I said, Spurs are finished and that, but they're not really. Like you've got an opportunity here where you can afford to, not pick up a lot of points over 2 or 3 games and still be in a decent position in the league whilst you work out what you're going to do.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, we're going to find out. Yeah, no, we're going to find out, man. Like I said, and I mean, Goodley, you've been quiet, man. What's going on, man? Are you not, no sympathy?
Listen, man, listen, I've just been hearing a whole bunch of wanking off for Spurs, so I'll just let everybody else do what they need to do.
Wow.
What's the energy comes at now for Liverpool?
A little bit ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, haven't they got the manager of the month for 3 months in a row? Like, he's got to make it work, right? Haven't they got, this is the same team that apparently played better with 9 men against Chelsea. So make it work. Like, the players that they didn't have play there, you've got to try and figure out. Like, for me, listen, I understand you need your best players to have a system. And listen, we're going to find out if this guy's the manager of the month because he is a good manager or because he says mate. And that's it. Like, I think for me,
no, come on, that's ridiculous.
Listen, I think for me, like logically, I didn't think Spurs were as good as how they are. I thought that they were playing well, and I thought they were playing well on momentum. If you look at players like Romero, I don't rate him. I think the key part. Listen, I'm not gonna give him any flack because I don't know him, so I don't like to judge players. But I don't know how good he is. I don't know if he's as good as how he's playing, or if he's just really, 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 really in a good moment and he's playing well. I don't know if Mickey Van der Ven is as good as he's playing right now. So for me, I don't, and again, I'm only saying that because I don't know them. So I'm not going to go 11 games and go crazy. That's all I'm saying. So for me, I hear you. I think for me, I'm just saying very simply, I don't think Son is as good as how he's playing right now. Kulu, he's getting goals and assists, but the same thing with Saka.
Sorry,
No,
hang on. Sorry, hang on.
Listen.
You'd have Arsenal fan on the chat.
However you guys want to dissect.
Would you have Son at Arsenal?
No, I wouldn't. But listen,
we'd all have
Arsenal.
Listen. It's the way that you guys dissect it. Is how you dissect it. For me, I don't feel like I need Son at Arsenal because I don't like the way he is. He's a low volume player, and what I mean by that, he reminds me of a better version of ESR. And what I mean by that is, if you give me a second to finish, is these players aren't involved in the game as much as I like them to be. They're low volume players, and yes, he's got goals and assists, fantastic. But for me, it's just someone who I just don't think that is as good as he's making out.
ESR hardly plays, though.
It's my opinion.
ESR not a good example.
No. Again, I'm not comparing the two players. I'm comparing the high and low volume players. So someone who's not on the ball a lot, compare him to Doku. You see he's a lot of touches, involved in the game. You see a little bit more. That's just that's just my way of liking football.
Sure. Okay, but let me rebuttal some of that, because listen, I like to think I'm quite a level-headed Spurs fan, but you've gone from level-headed to just some of the worst takes I think I've ever heard on YouTube.
It is what it is.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I like the phrase "it is what it is," but just because somebody says it is my opinion and it is what it is doesn't make you right.
But listen. But the thing is,
hang on, let me finish. No.
I'm just going to stop you there. I didn't once say I'm right. It's my opinion. That's it.
And I'm about to tell you why your opinion's wrong. Right. So if we're gonna talk about, listen, Postecoglou, is he this world great manager? I don't think anyone knows the answer to that yet.
No one said that. I just said that you've got to make it work. Try and make it work. I didn't ask you to win. Not even once did I say you need to win. I said try and make it work. That's it.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the sentence. Like, if I can finish the sentence, I'll actually get to my point. Like you're just waffling a lot at the moment.
Tabe, you cleared for landing, bro.
Right, thank you. I'm just saying, we're about to see if he is a good manager. Well, clearly he's a good manager. He's won wherever he's been. He started well. He's turned Spurs, who were an absolute shambles last season, into a good team. But he's one transfer window into his Spurs tenure. Now, this is where it's really difficult, because I've got fans like you that are going to this complete ridiculous extreme that you're going to. And then I've got fans of my own fan base going to this ridiculous extreme talking about title challenges and winning the title. For me, I think it all lands somewhere in the middle. It doesn't always have to be there or there. I think it's somewhere here. Spurs have got a good 11. When they're all fit, we've got a good 11. I think we've shown that. I think we gave, we had a decent game with Liverpool. I thought we played really well against Arsenal. We battered Man United. We've only lost one game because we went down to 9 men. But the true test, this isn't about Postecoglou only. The true test is of the squad we've assembled. The problem that we've got is we've not had managers like Arsenal have had Arteta there to build his squad for 4.5, whatever years it is. This is his squad. The entirety of that squad is his. So if Arsenal get injuries to key players, the players coming in, they are players that he bought. At the moment, Postecoglou is bringing in players that were there before him that he wants out, but you can't change everything in one summer. So for me, all of this, are Spurs that good? He's manager of the month. Any team that loses we've just lost our two centre-backs, like our best two centre-backs, our playmaker and our best left-back. I would absolutely assume, and I said the same whether I've streamed this year with Saeed, Daps, Charlie, whoever I've streamed with, I said, the moment you get a couple of them, the drop-off is huge, because then you're back to the players we had last season that can't play his way. But the last thing I'll say is, first of all, Mickey Van der Ven, you've got to watch him. If you don't watch him, he's brilliant, right? But Son not being in the Arsenal team, is just absolutely shocking. This guy would score 25, 30 a year in your system. Like he scores goals. He's statistically the best finisher in the league. One of the best finishers in Europe statistically. He will score goals.
That finishing counts. Like a header is not finishing, right?
Well, hang on. We'll get to that. That's my point.
Can I ask you a question,
he scores goals.
Yeah, he scores goals. Yeah. But that finishing one's clever because it doesn't count headers as finishing. But bro, if
that's crazy.
Let me just throw this dead quick to you, and it's a simple yes or no. Has Son ever won a golden boot?
Yeah.
He shared one.
He still won it though.
Yeah,
he did win it. Oh, Son's a goal finisher.
So let's be fair. Who keeps him out of Arsenal?
The
guys who keeps him out of the Arsenal 11?
No one does.
What I need to know.
No one does.
No one keeps him out of that Arsenal 11. Son's got his limitations.
Yeah, true.
He's not Doku.
Yeah, you're right.
He's not Doku. He's not going to run around 15 men, trickery, pace, skill, that. But what he is, put him through on goal, he is clinical. Put him through on goal, he is lethal. Yeah. And now he's come out of the shadows of Kane. He's going to score loads of goals this year.
There's different types of wingers in it, like Saka. And by the way, this is me saying, I'm not saying Doku is better than Saka, but Saka and Doku are not the same player. Like Grealish and Doku are not the same player. You have different. I think Son and Doku is not. That's not comparable at all. Again, it would be. He would work at Arsenal. He would, Lee. Come on.
Come on, Lee.
You lot all have your listen. As I said, he can have his say, man. Like as I said, I didn't say I was right. I didn't say I was the messiah or everything. It's my opinion. I said last season I've seen a version of him, but as I said, he's not a player that I would take. It doesn't mean he's a bad player, but it is what it is, man. You lot have your say, and that's it, man. Keep it moving.
No, 100%, man. I think Son is. I don't think he's world class, but I think for me,
he isn't. You've got Nketiah up top, and you're telling me you wouldn't.
He doesn't play. He doesn't.
Nketiah and Jesus.
But you're telling me Son couldn't. You're telling me Son couldn't do a better job than Nketiah up top.
Listen,
or Jesus.
He definitely would.
Brother, it is what it is.
Or Jesus, Errol.
Can't be asked, bro. It is what it is, man.
Well, Afcon and Asia Cup be a bigger threat.
I think that will be a threat. I think Basuma being out is going to be a threat as well.
That's a hot take, people. That's a hot take. Let us know in the comments, ladies and gents.
Son absolutely.
Nketiah. Son or Nketiah.
Yeah. But let us know. That's just so stupid. It's like saying, "Oh, Konza or Van der Ven, bro. He doesn't start for Arsenal, does he? Like, it's ridiculous."
Nketiah does.
Do you think he'd score more goals than Jesus and Nketiah if he played up front for you?
It's not. He's not the starting forward, by the way. He's not the starting forward for Arsenal.
Okay.
Over who? So Jesus, you would pick Jesus over Son.
Listen, man. As I said, for me,
I'm just asking. You're not answering any questions. It's really difficult to debate. Are you saying Jesus over Son?
Yeah, for me, I would prefer Jesus over Son. That's just my opinion. That's it. Like that's all. Like that's what I would take. It is what it is. Like. Cool, man.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Guys, we've got 700 people in the building. Make sure you're liking the video, people, man. The likes are well too low. I don't know what you lot are doing, man, but you need to hit the like button, people. I want to move over to Liverpool. I know Errol was like, "Oh, what's going on here, man? Liverpool getting exposed." But I want to talk about that midfield because I feel like a lot of people are getting played over with this midfield, and I think for me, this is what
it was you bigging them up the other day. See, you're that guy.
Last week you bigged it up.
Yeah, innit? Thank you, John. You're the guy that wants to put us on the pedestal.
You were bigging it up that midfield last week. You bigged it up. No. If someone goes back and finds it, you bigged it up.
No,
thank you, Charlie.
Said it's gonna be but I said they're gonna get exposed here, and then you were like saying, "Well, it's just hope. It's just hope." I said it from the start of the season. I said Liverpool's midfield, there's a problem there, and they need to address it. And McAllister is not on number 6. I've been saying that from day one. Yeah. So we need to talk about it right now. And Errol, how do you really feel? Because like I said, a couple of results haven't gone your way. And that midfield has got a little bit of bypass. You've had some uncomfortable moments.
Yep.
You know, Jamie Carragher spoke on Sky Sports saying, you're not in this. You're not going to win the league with that midfield. How do you feel?
So are we looking just at the midfield and not the 2 results that we've had? So we've had a draw with Luton and then we lost to Toulouse last night. But
no, we should look at them as well. Let's look at them as well.
Okay, so if I'm all right, no, that's fair. That's what I wanted to tackle. So, in terms of the results, the draw against Luton wasn't good enough. It's a team that we should be beating. We struggled with teams that came up from the championship last season. We struggled to get results against them, and that was when we wasn't playing great. I felt last week on Sunday, Liverpool was, and I've said it for a while, it's due to happen where we huff, we puff, and we just can't blow the bloody doors down. And that was what happened on the weekend. And it only then,
you know what though, Errol, do you know what you should do?
The maddest thing is you at the ground that was made of straw.
I know, But
Errol, do you know what you should do? You should swap Diaz for Son, innit? He would have helped you that. Yeah.
To be fair, Diaz actually scored and helped us get the points. But
that's the better option, right?
If you was to ask me at the start of the season who would I have had, Son or Diaz, I would have probably taken Son.
Should have taken him.
But that's Diaz. No, I disagree with that because Diaz's role. This is where it's all important. It goes back to, I guess, with Lee, that I could understand why in each team they need a balance. Yeah. You don't just need 3 goal scorers. You need a balance, right? So that might be why Lee doesn't want Son, because he feels he's got it elsewhere. That's not me saying it. That's just how. And with you lot, I would say that Diaz is very important to Liverpool. We saw it last season when he wasn't there. He doesn't get many goals, but that's because he's got Salah and he's got Núñez and he's got all the other players that get the goals.
And that's fine. The area which I will critique the most is, and this is where I've stuck my chest out probably the most about Liverpool this season, is our firepower. So on a day when the rest of the team aren't off it and the margins are, quite slim and you're not quite good enough with the cutting edge, it's in those moments where your forwards and your star boys and your talisman have to stand up and be counted. They have to win you games in the way that Diaz did, in the sense of, I don't want us to lose. As a result, I'm going to come on and I'm going to make an impact and I'll score the equaliser. The worrying thing for me in terms of, and again, I wasn't asked that we lost against Toulouse. I'll be real. What we lost against, we lost in a game where it didn't actually matter, and I'd rather lose in a game it doesn't matter, so they know how it still feels to lose without it all becoming derailed. If we lose 2-3 in the league, that can be a title race done completely. But to lose a game where in reality we only actually need a point between the next 2, that's fine. I can live with that. I don't actually mind that. Where I was most pissed off yesterday was when we got a fluky goal, end up 2-1, and then within about 90 seconds, it's 3-1. And that was what pissed me off the most. And it was just too easy for them to play, because we played some nice football last night to lose. It was too easy for them to cut us open from front to back. And I take your point. I've said it from the start of this season. I agree. McAllister's not the answer in the 6. The issues that we're going to find is, and I think this is the first time I'll do the comparison. Arsenal fans so far this season, no matter what results they've got, they've turned around and said the performances are not as fluid as they was from the previous season. But the results, whether they're papering over the cracks or they're doing enough to just get them the points on the board, it still feels like an uncomfortable watch, not as enjoyable. I would liken that to where Liverpool are, but I'm resigned to the fact, and I said it to you on your show here, Saeed, I said it to Pete before today. My thing is now, where I'm resigned to is Liverpool is going to score a bag of goals all season, but we will still look susceptible to the counter-attack, and we'll still look susceptible to a team catching us cold every now and again, and we'll be caught out as a result of that until we get the right 6 in. If we make it to January and we're in touching distance of the title, we get the right 6 in, and the 6 can hit the ground running as quick as the likes of Szoboszlai have, Gravenberch have, and hopefully McAllister, when he gets moved further forward, then we can start entertaining the idea of pushing for a title. But I'm resigned to the fact that just like Arsenal may have to give up a little bit of that fluidity to just continue to get the points on the board and move up the table, we may have to give up a little bit in the back end as well in terms of leaving ourselves open and vulnerable to the counter-attacks, because teams don't put us under the cosh. Teams just cut through us like a hot knife through butter, and that's what kills me. But as a fan, I think the reality, or the longer it goes on, we're going to outscore more than we're going to get caught.
Ultimately, you can do all the sweet talking you like, but
I'm good at that.
There's no reason for you to drop points against Luton. So whatever you say, you should have won. You should have won. You should have been able to put out, honestly, your youth team. Now, I'll be honest with you. I know the numbers aren't going to show it because I think Derby had less points, but Luton, and I'd probably say Sheffield United, are 2 of the worst teams that ever graced the Premier League ever. honestly.
I'd
So
agree.
for me,
Even
like
Burnley, man. Put Burnley in there as well.
I think the Burnley.
Luton are the best of the three
you
for
can
me.
even put in there. So
Yeah,
for
they
me,
are.
honestly, for you to talk about all your deficiencies, listen, that is your time to speak on your club, but. Take on that game when I stand alone. I don't think the Toulouse game is a problem because you changed 11 players. No one cares about that. I mean, Saeed's probably will, but for me, I don't. That's not a problem.
No, not really.
But Salah was absolutely terrible.
Stunk out the gaff.
Nunes.
I'm glad everyone was shit, though, Lee. Everyone was shit to a man. It was nice to see that. It wasn't just one man letting us down. The whole team were off the boil yesterday. I completely agree. Completely agree.
Errol, can you? We've had 11 games in the Premier League. Obviously, you had European competition now. Are you at the point where you can sort of admit that Endo signing was a panic buy and it was a poor decision? Because I'm not being funny, but I'm not seeing it from this guy. And Klopp picked it up when that signing was made. Like that was the signing that they always wanted, and he was the guy, and that they'd been looking at him. But that just screamed panic buy at the time. And for me, I'm not seeing anything that's making me think any other difference. It screams panic buy to me. And the fact that he got hauled off, or was it half time or just
he was on the yellow?
Yeah, that says everything to me. That you're saying that 11 men stunk out the gaff. That's fair enough, but for him to get dragged at half time says to me that he was the one that was stinking out the most.
Yeah, but we've had he was awful yesterday, and obviously being on the yellow, he was just a red card waiting to happen. I think to the question about him being a panic buy, I think we all of us, if any of our clubs would have made that kind of 11th hour purchase of an area which you need, you've probably not landed your top target in that area. However, to have the body there with the experience and the know-how how to play that role, that might still come up invaluable to Liverpool at the end of the season.
It might end up like Calvin Phillips.
Pardon?
Yes, it might end up like Calvin Phillips.
But you've only spent 16 mil on him, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
Again, it's a calculated gamble to the sense of we're still in, as it stands in the League Cup. The FA Cup for us hasn't started yet. So there are certain competitions where his skill set or the level of opponent might be more beneficial than risking putting a McAllister in there or risking putting a new lad in there.
Good point.
At the end of the season, we might look back and I could be completely in your camp, Pete, where it's like, it was a waste of 16 mil. It was a fucking gamble that hasn't paid off, that we didn't need to do, and we shot ourselves in the foot. I could be looking back at the end of the season and saying, actually, we've won the League Cup. We got to a FA Cup semi-final. He played a part in both of those. So he's been decent value for money. And I can't.
Errol, how many minutes has he played? How many minutes has Endo played so far?
You're probably looking about 300, 350 or something like that.
The other day.
Aren't we doing that?
One goal,
Aren't we doing that thing again where players come in, there's like 11 games into the season, he's integrating into the squad, had a few minutes, and we're already writing them off? No, but
he's not that guy though. But it's like someone.
What guy?
No, but Sava, let's play. We know what we're doing here. We know this is football YouTube, yeah. So we have to work out how it goes. Now, we unfortunately have to represent our clubs. Now, if Liverpool fans are going to judge Szoboszlai on 11, 12 games,
he's played almost every minute. Listen,
ultimately, if you are going to, you get it. You get it. But ultimately, if you're gonna give someone that much, Sava, I'm with you. You don't need to tell me the context. Trust me, I'm with you. But we know the game we're playing, And if players are going to say how good someone's landed, they have to also expect the criticism on a player that. And even if you go, but he hasn't played as many minutes. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Please let me finish. If we're going to say, but that's not fair because Szoboszlai's played every minute, Endo hasn't. Well, that must be because Endo is not showing something in training that allows him to show every minute.
That's the whole point. Is that he was brought in as the number 6 because they didn't.
No, but you don't. Hang on. We're all.
He wasn't brought in as the main 6.
No.
Barely kicked a ball.
Pete, but the thing is, what we're all doing here is everyone's leaping to judgments that he was brought in as the main number 6. For all we know, Klopp's looking at him going,
He's only
He's
one.
a stopgap. He is a stopgap. Endo is a stopgap. Endo is a
number
stopgap.
6. You bring him in as a number 6 because he's the only one that can play that position.
There are
he's not a main 6, though.
Like, doesn't that defeat the object of him coming in? You brought him in.
No, because this
he might not be the guy that they wanted, but he's the guy that can play that position. And then you're playing.
Pete, that's two different things. But Pete, that's two different things. There's two different things. For all we know, Liverpool may have gone in for someone alongside Endo and trying to build their squad. So when Liverpool get going, when they actually go out and buy a proper number 6 and they buy another forward, they buy another fullback, whatever it is they need to do, you need a squad. The problem is we're all assuming that he was bought to be that number 1 man that sits in the number 6 and does the job. For all we know, Klopp might have said, you know what? Listen, I want to bring you to the club. You're not going to play every minute of every game. I'm going to use you sparingly. For the first 6 months, I want you to bed in, blah, blah, blah. And again, the guy has had hardly any minutes, and we're going, well, he was a waste. I mean, I don't believe for 1 minute when Endo was bought in, they bought him in as the main man. They bought him in as a stopgap or a squad player at that age. But we're doing 11 games, you're rubbish. It's like, whoa.
You know what it is, though? You know what it is? It's because I feel like the emphasis on Endo is more because they missed out on Lavia, they missed out on Caicedo, and then they bought for 18 million, however it was, Endo, which was almost like a waste of money, really. Let's be honest. And this is where it comes down from. I don't think any Liverpool fan wanted Endo. Nobody wanted Endo.
We didn't know he was. I didn't know he existed. I thought
none of us did.
People know what I think.
What you're missing, what you're failing to remember is 18 million. It's the gamble. It's the how big is the risk and how big is the reward. There's two ways it can go. If Liverpool have a completely dead season, we get dumped out of the League Cup by West Ham. We don't make it out past the 3rd or 4th round of the FA Cup. We fail to get top 5. And we get dumped out of the Europa League by Brighton or somebody or someone down the line, then it has been an absolute disaster because not only have we not achieved anything financially now, we've lost a whole package of potential boosts and bonuses. Flip reverse.
Did you say top 5?
Yeah, for Champions League.
Oh, right, I got you. Yeah.
No, but I thought that was a new bar.
Let me just go the other way, which is what I was trying to explain to you before.
11 games.
I know, but even the other way, though, Sava.
You're winning the league after 11, right?
No, not me, mate. Don't you dare put me in that bracket with them.
Oh, you're Tottenham. You were doing that. I saw you all online doing it.
No. You all online? Nah.
In the event that Liverpool do win one of the 3 cup competitions that we're in, and we was to do another run in one of those cup competitions for 18 mil, the money that we get as a reward has been recouped. So it's become a viable option to have him in the squad, as Sava says, to be a squad player and a stopgap to come in those moments when you want to rest McAllister, when you don't want to.
Errol, you've got to remember as well. So not you. I know you know this. You've got to remember Liverpool got rid of about 5 central midfielders in one summer. Right? Yeah. So they missed out on a couple of their big targets. But what we can't do with footballers straight away is we don't know what they were bought for. We can't say that. It's like me right now going, oh, Brendan Johnson's been rubbish. He's only played 210 minutes. But stop and start through injury, subbed off because we went down to 9 men. It's so early to judge players. If you're going to bring in a player who's been there, seen it, done it, and is bought as your number 1 and has played every single game, after half a season, I'm judging them, right? But we've seen this before with players, year after year after year. Players come in, they don't hit the ground running. Second year they're good, or the back half of the first year they're good, but we don't learn. We still go, 11 games, he's crap, he's rubbish, get him out. Bro.
Do you know what we're doing here?
Let me just say this as well. Fabinho was that guy. He was the 6 to come in and be that guy for Liverpool for seasons. In that first year that he came in for us, he didn't get games. He wasn't getting minutes. He was getting bedded in because that one particular role, for whatever reason, Klopp has got it in such a particular way that he wanted to be delivered and played, that it takes even the most intelligent of footballers with the most high level of IQ and talent to get up to speed with it. And let me finish this. One of the biggest observations I had this season was how quick the other lads in the 8s have hit the ground running. That was my biggest apprehension because we, as Saba said, we got rid of 5 and we needed to bring in so many. I thought I've seen Klopp with midfielders in the past. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain took nearly 6 months to get up to speed. I've seen Jordan Henderson take ages to get the roll down. I know Milner was well versed, but it still took him a little bit of time. Fabinho, the fact that 3 of those lads came in and straight away give us a little bit of signs that they're on it gave me a little bit more confidence. You can't get that same confidence from the 6. So the fact that he's saying, right, we'll get a stopgap that'll hopefully get up to speed by the time the new guy comes in, because if the new guy comes in and still needs 6 months, we've got somebody who's at least on the same hymn sheet that can carry on and carry a little bit more of the slack, so it's not all on that person, because Klopp knows himself that 6 is such a hard position to come in and hit the same standard as the rest of those teams and players. So it'll be interesting. It will be.
Side, sorry, we've got to, Pete, you asked a question, and it's kicked off this whole Endo debate, and cleverly, Errol has rolled with it for a good 15-20 minutes,
I've got
because
to go.
he knows.
Sorry.
Yes, Sava, love.
Sorry, take care, everyone. I've got to go out.
Right. And let's get those goodbyes done quickly as well, Errol. Because he's managed to deflect from talking about the fact that Liverpool lost to Toulouse and drew to Luton in the last 7 days, right? That's the talking point. How we ended up talking about Endo, I do not know.
For me, though, honestly, like, I don't understand why Endo is such a topic of conversation. I don't think anyone cares.
The conversation was about that, though. You know what the conversation was? It was whether Liverpool would challenge for the league or challenge with that midfield. That's what the conversation was.
I just don't listen. For me, look, everybody knows my feelings on Klopp. I don't think that he's the manager that people make him out to be. But look, I'm going to defend him with the Endo thing, because ultimately, listen, managers say things because ultimately it is what it is at that moment in time. Like, we all knew who we wanted. He wanted Caicedo, he wanted Lavia, he couldn't get him. So he had to big up this guy who he's bringing into a club. Move on. I think the bigger problem for you, Toulouse, let's forget about them. They were playing Kwanzaa. McAllister didn't have a good game. Listen, I don't think McAllister's as good as people make him out to be, but I'm not going to then kill him because he had one bad game, because he's playing in a position that we all know he can't play in. And listen, all right, cool. Liverpool played poorly yesterday. No one's going to shoot Liverpool down because of it. What we do need to discuss is the Liverpool game, the Luton game, because you guys have been waffling on about you've got 5 attackers. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to remove Diaz because of the the issue with his dad, which I'm now happy that his mum and dad are safe.
Oh, both safe.
Had both safe. You had 90 minutes. You had 90 plus minutes to score 2, 3, 4 goals in that game. And what you did is you had Mo Salah, who's on astronomical amounts of money and didn't perform. You had Nunes, who missed 2 sitters, and he was kept shooting from outside the box. And then you also had Jota, who was absolutely stinking at the joint. Can we talk about Szoboszlai, who's apparently meant to be your Hungarian Steven Gerrard, who was absolutely stinky? And then can we talk about your defenders? No matter what you want to say, you didn't have to concede a goal. No matter what, forget your attackers. You didn't have to concede a goal. So for me, you've got the best keeper in the world, who I thought was actually quite weak in that position as well. And listen, we're giving minute criticism to a team that even in the Tottenham game, when you went down to 10 men, you've been excellent all season.
9 men at times.
So 9 men. So let's keep it fact. We're giving a small amount of criticism for overall a great season. So for me, look, man, I just think the Luton game was actually worse than Arsenal losing to Newcastle because of the kind of opposition. Now, yes, you've got a point. Yes, you've got a point. But for me, I do think it was a bit poorer.
Right then. So, I'll throw this back to the rest of the panel then, and Lee, you can give me your thoughts as well first. Is that, from what you've seen of Liverpool so far this season, is that the trend or is that the anomaly, in your honest take?
Listen, you know what? It's weird because I don't think Liverpool are going to win the league, only because you look at the Newcastle result. I think the Newcastle performance, I thought that Newcastle were the ones that gave it away rather than you winning it, even though that sounds weird to say. I feel like Newcastle's manager, I don't know what he was doing with them substitutes. You then look at the game against Spurs. I feel like, you should have won that game, but you didn't. Overall, I think that you have performed that to a level that you should be challenging, because you've been really good this season. And I didn't think you was going to be as good as you are, so fair play. But I'm sure the others will say something different. But for me, look, I think Liverpool can challenge, but I don't think you'll win the league.
Saeed, is that the anomaly or is that the trend from this Liverpool team that you've seen so far this season?
I don't know. I think ultimately, you know, what I mean, I do give Liverpool a lot of credit for their attack, but I just look at foundations of what a title team is going to be. I think it's the defense. I think you're one injury away from that defense being kind of. And you know what? I actually don't blame Van Dijk anymore. I think Van Dijk's probably the strongest one out there. I think Kanat is looking the one that's looking a bit
Tsimikas not looking all that either.
Tsimikas, absolutely shocking.
Tsimikas as well.
Horrible.
I think you need a fullback as well. So
and again, listen, again, I'm not saying this,
you know.
Well, I think for me, look, as well as as excellent as he is, as generational as he is, Trent Alexander is not a right back. He cannot defend. He is horrible at defending.
Not having this slander right now. Move on. Someone mute my man, please. He's had his say. Ask one question. I didn't need this tangent. I didn't need to go off on a tangent. We're not going into this one right now. This isn't a trend debate.
Errol, yeah, no. Sorry, no. Go on, bro. Go on.
I was going to say I agree with Lee. I think defensively.
There we go. Have we got Chippy yet?
Errol, just let me land.
Go on.
Attacking wise, there is no one better. Like, he is an absolute diamond. He really is. Like, and there's a reason why they've been playing him into midfield. And I think Lee's got a valid point. Because if you play him as a right back, the defensive frailties come to light. He is not the same player. But if you push him into midfield, like you were kind of doing back in the last season, you've done it at times this season, that he is a completely different player. And there's no wonder that England have tried to experiment on that. It's because they want to try and get the best out of him too, because no doubts that attacking wise, he is quality, but that defensive frailty is always going to be there with him. And I genuinely think throughout the rest of his career, that's always going to be the big question mark, because I think if he hasn't got that defensive now nailed down now, I know he's still relatively young, but is he really going to pick that up? Is he really going to have that in his locker for the rest of his career? And that for me is a big question mark. But to answer your question, I think it's been a bit of a mixed bag. I think you've had games where you've kind of wiped the floor with teams and you've looked a little bit like the Liverpool of old, and that's why I think a lot of people, including yourself, have gone, yeah, I think we're going to be up there challenging. But you know, your results against Luton, I agree with Lee. Like it was us that we threw it away at St James's Park. I think if you're honest, you'd admit that, because the game at 75 minutes.
The game was against us. I was waiting for the game to be over.
At 75, 80 minutes, the game was done. We threw it away, and we made poor decisions. We brought players off that we should have played the full game, and I think if we'd have done that, we'd have won. And there's been a couple of other games where it's been a little bit similar. So it hasn't been
Aston
a bit of a mixed bag.
Aston Villa, they weren't great against them as well at home.
I think it was more, for me, it was more West Ham than anything. I think West Ham. Yeah, the West Ham game. West Ham I think were lucky because they went toe to toe with you guys at Anfield, and I think in the end you managed to just do enough to win the game. I think Villa was a little bit more comfortable, but that's why I'm not quite sure yet with Liverpool, if I'm honest with you, because it has been a little bit of a mixed bag. You've showed those good performances, but then when you look, and you very rarely have back-to-back bad performances, but you've had that with Luton and Toulouse, which is why I maybe put it as a little bit more of a significant thing more than anything. But off the back of that, the game against Toulouse doesn't mean anything, and you're right, because you guys are going to qualify and you're going to go through, so you're right in that respect. But you would have expected Liverpool, no matter what team was put out, and you would have expected Jurgen Klopp, because of the caliber of manager that people put him at, to react after that Liverpool game. But you've had back-to-back poor performances. I can't remember who you got at the weekend. You're
Brentford
at home, who can be a tricky team. Not saying you're going to lose to them or drop points, but they can also be a tricky team. So it's one of them. That's probably the bit that surprised me.
I don't think it's
the reason why I think you'll probably not win the title, or like you may fall short, because as the season goes on, those results might well creep up again. But you're right, that attacking team should be doing betterly. They should have put that Luton team to the sword, like well before half time.
Man, I felt like I was watching us against Luton with the level of missed chances and finishing. But look, do you know what? Liverpool, no one's saying Liverpool are going to win the league. I think it's a little bit harsh, though, to say that.
Some are, to be fair.
Well, maybe some are. But like, I think it's a little bit harsh to say that it's a problem because these two poor back-to-back performances haven't been in the Premier League. Let's remember that one of these is a game where he's made like 10 changes. It's a Europa League game.
Shaking against Brighton, though. Shaking against Brighton.
Yeah, fine. But like, I think if we're looking at the Luton game, right, they weren't outplayed at all. On another day, they win that 4 or 5 goals easily, right?
Klopp's is pulling faces, but it was an even
Klopp's,
game.
No,
do you know what it was? Luton didn't put the handbrake on. Luton wanted to go for it, and if he would have got beat, if he'd have got played off the park going for it, he would have been happy. But he went for it either way and stayed in the game. That's what you got to give.
I'll be honest. I didn't watch the first half. I watched the second half. Second half, I think Luton
played better.
Definitely deserved the point. Deserved the point. I don't know about the first half, but the second half, they actually. Oh yeah, of course. It's the same with. I think the same with Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Burnley, but Sheffield United and Luton, both of them actually do play quite nice football, right? Surprisingly nice football. It's just that final third, they're poor. I think that all you can take out of that is, look, Liverpool, it's one of those games where if I was a Liverpool fan, I would say we deserve nothing, right? I'm not saying Liverpool weren't better than Luton, but for the level of Liverpool, to not beat Luton, they deserve nothing.
It wasn't a good draw. Sometimes you can look away, you can walk away. The Chelsea game, start of the season, we had a great performance. We got away with the draw. It was a good draw away from home. All said and done. I think the thing from my perspective is I've watched, and this is even before City were the dominant force in English football. I've watched Liverpool lose leagues, and the biggest killer when you lose your league is the draws. The amount of draws you rack up are the ones that take a league away from you. It takes you from being challengers to just the rest of the pack, the top.
Draws are worse than losses sometimes.
They are, in my mind.
I've always said it, man.
Since we lost, since 08-09, and I was a pup them times, but since 08-09 when we lost the league to you by, I think it was 2 or 3 points, just because we drew with I think it might have been Villa in like a January or a February game, and then there was another one I think we drew with Everton. That showed me, because we only lost, I think we lost 2 games all season, but I think we ended up with like 7 draws. So from I seen them numbers when I was a kid, I was like, it's the draws that kill yours. So I've seen it, and that's been my thing consistently. I will always die on my hill. It's the draws that kill your title hopes. You've only got a fine margin of draws before you can rule out pushing for a title.
Errol, if you deep it, you can ultimately. That's where Man United are at the moment. Yeah. Man United, when you look at the table and see where Man United are, you're like,
I know. It's because
it's quite simple with Man United. They win or they lose. Whereas if you, and the simple way of putting it is, you can lose 2 games and win 1 and get 3 points. You can draw all 3 games and be on the same number of points, and then claim that, you know what, we're not losing games. And that's the truth of it, that it's draws can be the different, massively can be.
So that's why I think it's. Sorry, go on, Pete. Go on.
I was going to say, there's people in the chat that think that we're being too nice to you guys, that we're letting you off the hook. There's Carl B, big up to Carl B, saying, you know what I mean? It wasn't long ago you guys were going for the quad, and now we're letting you off the league.
I said
we're letting you off to the league. Like,
I said
it's a free hit, man.
They're doing a cup treble.
Tongue in cheek. I said it tongue in cheek at the start of the season.
Free hit, man.
Watch Liverpool do the shit quad this year. Watch us do it.
We'll find out. But listen, I want to move on to.
You do a treble. I think you do a cup treble this year. I do think you do a cup treble.
Maybe. But now, listen, people, we want to move on to the biggest game. Guys, make sure you like the video, people.
How's it done an hour, Saeed, and nothing about Man United?
I know. He's dodging charges left, right, and centre.
Bro, that's boring talk.
So what's this? I just saw in a group chat. Are your game going fans protesting about your other game going fans or something? What's going on?
No, obviously it's about the corporate tickets and whatnot. United are extortionate. Obviously, they're doing some mad shit. You get me? Like the seat next to me, yeah, they've ripped out all of the normal seats and made it execs. So obviously, the tickets that were normally meant to go to match going fans, they've been ripped over for execs. So it's now that ticket will be £300-400. So obviously United fans are not happy about that. But I'm sure we will be protesting.
Mate,
there you go.
Protest. I've just seen there's some sort of protest.
Yeah, there'll be a protest tomorrow. Obviously, there'll be a bit on the Glaze as well. But we will discuss United. But I wanted to give the big game a lot of bit of coverage as well. Man City versus Chelsea. Do you know what? Let me ask you a question. Yeah, do you feel like everybody's just writing off Chelsea for this game? Like, I don't know.
Not me.
I feel like everyone's. Well, I know you, Daps, because you're quite you're a bit reserved when you predict things and whatnot. But a lot of people are writing off Chelsea, man. I think that result will give them a lot of confidence. You know.
Do you know what? It's the reason why I'm not writing them off is because I said before they played Arsenal, I want Chelsea to get a result, but I just can't see how they get one. Right? Then I said against Spurs, I want Chelsea to get a result, but I just can't see how they're going to get one. Right? And now I'm here. My team's playing them, and I'm sat here going, Mudryk is the shittest winger. We spoke on wingers earlier. Mudryk's a pile of shit. Right? Jackson, I've got to give Jackson a little bit of props, yeah. As far as that, when you're a striker, yeah, if you don't score a couple of chances, it's very easy to let that confidence kick in, and then all of a sudden your head go down. And do you know what? The fact that he kept going and actually did end up getting a hat trick, I've got to say, do you know what? Fair play to him to keep going. But we all know in front of goal, he's not the best. What? Then obviously Cole Palmer's going to go out looking, but I just look at this Chelsea team and think, I don't know how they can hurt us. But then I'm like, but I didn't know how they were going to get anything against Arsenal. I didn't know how. And so I'm looking at it thinking, yeah, well, it should be, but it is at Chelsea. And they've been getting results against the better teams somehow. They're so far away from being the finished product that I think with the right players they could be, because I think ultimately at the moment they're missing know-how so much. That's the thing. They're missing know-how. They're missing game changers. And it sounds mad because they just beat Spurs 4-1, but they're missing game changers. And you got a City there rolling in off the back of qualifying in the Champions League, scoring 3. Before that, was it 3 or 4? 3, I think it was. Before that, 6-1 against Bournemouth. So we're in good form.
Well, as your I say probably your rival this season to try and win the league. I think us and probably Liverpool. I think, again, I'm going to say the same thing. I think Man City will absolutely wipe the floor with Chelsea.
Wow.
And it's not to say that Chelsea haven't got the qualities. I think Caicedo, do you know what? Against Spurs, I thought Caicedo was actually very, very good. I know people kind of maybe, thought that he wasn't good. I looked at that game and I thought he was good. Do you know what? I want to give a bit more credit to Conor Gallagher. I've actually been ridiculing this guy all this season.
I told people about Conor Gallagher, man.
Times that he's been doing. And I think he was very, very good against Spurs. But I'm honestly, from the bottom of my heart, saying Chelsea just don't have it. They don't have a functioning attack to do anything against Chelsea, against Garfield, Ruben Diaz. And then you've got to also add in that they've also got one of the best keepers in the world. Now, at least with Arsenal, we had this whole conundrum with Raya and Ramsdale. You have to get through so much. And then you've got Rodri in there. And we didn't have Partey. So you're almost asking Chelsea to have everything go so right for them. And again, I'm not tired, but what I am saying is the reason why I feel like Arsenal didn't play as well, because we do play very slick, progressive football. And I think the weather, everything was conducive to Chelsea just mixing it up. They were more intense than us. They were all of these things. And then I just don't think that Arsenal could play the football we wanted to play. And that's not to say that, I'm blaming the weather. I'm just saying there were so many little moving parts to say why Arsenal weren't playing well that game. I think Man City they've seen what Chelsea can produce. And again, I'm sorry, but I love Sterling. Listen, I'm Jamaican. I never ever want to slander him, but he's absolute dog crap. I'm sorry. There's going to be no.
I think he's washed. Do you think he's washed?
He's finished. He's done. There's going to be no. There's not going to be no shining light from him. There's going to be no. It's coming back to Horn. This Cold Palmer. There's going to be none of that. There's going to be none of this nonsense. Please, like, it needs to stop. And that's not to discredit Chelsea. I want to say this from the bottom. It's not to
Your predictions haven't been right this season. You said Odegaard was going to.
That's why I'm keeping kind of quiet, you know, because I don't want to. But it's.
You know what it is? You know what? I'll be real with you. Listen, whether I'm right or wrong, I'm just looking at it on the balance of the two teams, and I'm sitting here saying that Man City are a level above Arsenal. So Arsenal had expectations to go to Chelsea and win, but it's almost a sure bet. And I'm not even saying for Chelsea. I'm talking about for every single team. Man City, they just look so good right now. And then everybody was waxing lyrical about Doku 7 days ago. And Daps, I did a stream with you a couple of days ago, and I said, well, hold on, can we calm down about this Doku hype? It was fantastic, 4 assists and all these things, but it's Bournemouth. So now I want to see everybody putting the same expectations on this guy that Chelsea, because you can't talk up both sides, and Daps wasn't really the one that I was talking to because he wasn't the one that was going crazy. But I'm just saying that people were going crazy over this Doku performance, and I said, well, listen, let's calm down. It's Bournemouth. They're absolutely terrible.
But do you know what Doku did midweek? Doku came on, and in 10 minutes, he got the most. So this is not for Manchester City.
Most dribbles on the pitch, wasn't
it? In the game week, the most dribbles in the pitch in 10 minutes, the most successful take-ons in the whole of the Champions League game week, right? So, but I'm not here saying, I agree with you. Look, let Doku cook. But I think the other thing where we maybe, I'm hoping we benefit from is Chelsea against Arsenal, Chelsea against Tottenham. There's a lot of emotions in those games. That is, you know, it was Arsenal and Tottenham both thinking they're that much above Chelsea at the moment. And Chelsea really went out there with something extra to prove against the London boys. This one's a bit different. Like, even though, yes, they beat us in the Champions League final, right? There's no massive love loss. Like, there's a recency, you know, them lot came up to Manchester at 7 a.m. on trains with inflatable Champions Leagues, like grown men with inflatable Champions Leagues. But that's stopped now. They can't do that no more. Since the Champions League, we've beat them in every single game, and I don't believe they scored a goal since they won in that Champions League final. I took that time. I was on the train up and seeing grown men with inflatable balloons, bro. It's wild.
That was me, can't lie.
There we go. But it's one of them ones where I just think I just think there's a lot of things that. Firstly, the fact of who we are and the fact of we've got Rodri back. Bernardo's on absolute form, whether it be Doku or Grealish.
Bernardo. You know, big up to Matisse. He said it. He said it on a platform. He says Odegaard and Bernardo. Do we give Bernardo a lot more? Like, do we not give Bernardo his credit?
He's a rat. If he wasn't a rat, he'd get us.
Oh no! I understand why he's called. Bro, I understand why he's calling him a rat. No, I get it. He's calling him a rat because you know what? Bernardo has such a winning mentality. That when these men had their guard of honor. Bernardo Silva was like, F them, man. Like, just walked off. Like, I'm not giving them a guard of honor. Look, Liverpool fans, truthfully, they hate him. They hate him. But
he's one of them. We would love him. We'd love him if he was our player. If he was our player, we would absolutely love him.
Listen,
he's mustard. But I hate him even more because he's quality and he's a rat.
Errol, and even more, that's all you want. Because, like, I know against Liverpool, I know Foden gets it. Against Liverpool and United, Foden gets it. But when you have a foreign player join your club and understand now they're the Scousers, we don't like them, right? That makes you love him even more because, like, this guy gets it. You're Liverpool. We don't like you. There's no guard of honor. You don't need a guard of honor from us. Go and get it from Everton or something, not from us. So, but no, it's.
So I was going to say, just to add, why is everybody moving like Pep's going to sit there and allow apparently Cole Palmer to just sit there and put Trump. Like,
you never know, man.
Can we know who we're talking about here? We're talking about Pep, who's probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest managers to ever grace this game. Now, again, the same thing for Sterling. Do you actually you're sitting there thinking that he's going to allow Sterling to come and do his madness or whatever he wants to do? Please, like, we're talking about.
Listen, you never know, man. This is where they can rise. This is where they can rise, though, man. You never know, man. Guardiola can be beaten. Guardiola got beaten by Wolves this season. Guardiola's been beaten by who else?
To be fair, Guardiola actually didn't get beat by Wolves. He was in the stands. He was okay. He was either in the stands or he might have even been back. I think he might. Yeah. So open the door then.
Yeah. So
you hear that? McDonald's is here. Open the door then. Like, don't leave.
But you know what it is though? I get what you mean, but you know, we're talking about like teams have beaten Man City.
Yeah.
You know, people say without Rodri. I get it without Rodri. But listen, Chelsea's. I just feel like there's a big victory coming for Chelsea this season.
But they got one.
They
got one against Spurs, bro.
No. You can't. No, I'm not counting that one. I'm not counting that one.
No, you've got to count that one. Because no, the truth is, Charlie,
man, it's
Charlie,
9 men, bro.
Charlie,
Come on, man.
which one means more to you?
Man.
Beating Spurs at the Lane or beating City at the Bridge?
Oh, beating Spurs at the Lane.
No, it's beating Spurs at the Bridge, at the Lane, bro.
No, Syed, listen though.
That's crazy.
No, it's not crazy though, because beating like your big London rivals in their own stadium when they've been top of the league, unbeaten start to the season, and with the start we've had with their best manager in recent times going back to their ground, mate, that means more to us and is more enjoyable than a win over Man City. It doesn't mean that I don't want to win over Man City. It doesn't mean that it's not a big win, but beating Spurs in their own stadium will always be bigger than beating Man City. That's just the way.
If Jackson scored 3 goals against Man City, if Jackson scored 3 goals against Man City, are you telling me you're going to enjoy that less than the one against Tottenham?
I mean, ever so, mate. They're probably both the same, but I'll probably say the Spurs one scoring a hat trick in Spurs' own stadium is gonna, they're both unbelievable. They're both great, right? And they'll both be massively celebrated, but the Spurs one will always mean a tiny bit more because of who it is.
First,
Saeed, man, it's like you. It's like you just winning a game. Like you're going to celebrate. You're going to go crazy.
No. I get it. No, but listen, I don't know what you're doing.
Anything. Like, even Luton tomorrow. Even Luton.
No, but what?
You must, Saeed. You must.
Even against the under 21s, man. Even against your under 21s.
Saeed, are you nervous? Are you nervous?
Listen, man, we're not. Let's not divert here.
No. Are you nervous?
Am I nervous?
No, Saeed, you're doing the
big, massive Luton at home, bro. It's at home. It's at home. You must.
Listen, all I know is that we must. If we don't win that game, listen, forget end the season. End the season if we lose that game or even draw.
Like Is it going to be self-conflicted? Is it going to be another self-conflicted blow?
Man, it could be self-inflicted. Man. You don't know.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Oh, man.
My head was gone, man. My head was gone. Yeah, go on, Pete.
Saeed, if you don't beat Luton, like, is that Ten Hag gone?
That's over, mate. That's over.
Ten Hag should have went against Man City, bro.
I know. But what I'm saying is that do you get bigger backing for that happening?
No, a few men have changed. A few. Saeed, you know, Cass has switched.
Hey, I know, Cass. Yeah, I know, Cass.
No, you know he's switched. No, he's switched.
Oh, he's gone back to Ten Hag again.
Bro, he's now like.
Oh, that's crazy.
Bro, I planted flip-flops behind him without him knowing the other day on a show and said, Cass, what's that? And he turned around when he was trying to, and there was a flip-flop there, and he was like, he's flip-flopped. He's back to saying Ten Hag in.
But who did we win? We only won against Fulham.
There was a last-minute goal as well, and you were shit.
Come on, man. Listen, I don't know, Mister. I don't think the manager's the right fit for Man United. I just think he's abandoned all his principles. We can't seem to get Mason Mount in. I mean, again,
what he's your number 7, mate? They're going to be what was that video, bro?
I don't know, mate.
You're going to be a really important player for us in the first team. Man can't even get over the team over Ericsson or McTominay.
50 M's and he can't get in the Man U team.
60, bro. 60.
How many minutes has he racked up so far this season? 11 games in.
He's played, I think he started the season, I think, against Wolves, and then he's played, I think, against Tottenham. And then I think he's not really started games, you know. I'll be honest with you, he started here and there.
Do you know what? Mate, he finished as centre forward for the last 5 minutes. If that doesn't sum United up, then I don't know what does.
Yeah. You know what's
I don't know why we got him.
Saeed, the video has been going around of Ten Hag and Mount when they first met, and he was saying, you're going to be a big player for Man United. You're going to be a big player. And that's been going around today. The circles have been going around. It's like, man, not even playing any minutes. And you paid just as much as Arsenal did for Kai Havertz. And he's got far more stick than Mount has, which is what the question was a couple of weeks ago.
Mate, where's Evan, mate?
That is true, you know, man. I you know what? That just shows you what Havertz has done in the Premier League. I know he's probably stamped the place more than Mount, but Mount, now today, the manager said, you know what, he has to fight for his place back in the team. Listen, I get it, yeah, you have to set a principle. But this is your main transfer. You don't say that.
Thank you, bro.
You don't talk that talk.
It's your guy. You done 5 bids for him, like 5 bids to get him.
Yeah,
5 bids, and you say you got to fight back. This is the play. One of them he wanted to sell in McTominay. Eriksen's on his last legs. Let's be honest with you, and who else is there? Bruno Fernandes.
You know what? Though,
I mean, he's got that probably one locked in.
Listen,
come on, man.
But you know, I don't rate Ten Hag at all. But listen,
if you don't rate anybody,
you guys have been. I don't even rate wrong manager. I only rate Pep, man. But I'll be honest, it's hard though, because you got to look at it and you think, well, hold on a second, you lot want Rashford out, so it's almost a bit like, do players just get a given? Do players just get a God-given right to get into the team? Like, surely if they're not playing well, whether you bought them whether you've handed them a new contract, don't you have to allow them to get back into form?
Lee, no, you're right. Lee, you're right. I'm with you. But this is where everyone is struggling with Ten Hag, I think, nothing he says adds up, because you're right. You should have to earn your place in a team. But why then say Rashford will start every game and I'll play him back into form? Right.
Yeah, and Anthony as well. He protects Anthony and plays him all the fucking time as well.
And even the thing of like bringing Mount in, saying you're going to be a big, and then not starting him, and all these things. It's like, or saying no, we're not trying to play like Ajax, but then trying to play your left back like your left back at Ajax played. And it's all these things like, how can fans get on board with you where everything you're saying? Last season, I think things he said made sense. This season, everything he says just doesn't make sense. And fans are like, I don't know with this guy. This literally seems like he's doing the Ollie thing of hoping something works.
What's going on with Champions League Varane?
Well, I don't know. He could be available in January. Would anyone take Varane in their team?
No.
Would anyone take Varane?
No.
I've
been saying, Saeed, do you know I've been saying this for a while?
It depends what Varane wants to turn up. Do you know what I mean?
I would.
If Varane wants to turn up like Champions League, 3-time Champions League Varane, all
no, we're not going to get that. He's not that Varane, but he's a competent Varane. He's part of the third best defense.
I'll have Kwanzaa.
I'm sorry. I'm not even going to lie. I think if Rafa Varane goes to any of these other clubs on this panel, right, including Newcastle, I think he becomes a better player instantly.
Oh,
why he's playing as bad as he is? I genuinely believe that. We've talked about it. Haven't we talked about on this panel for weeks now about how Man United's a graveyard? These top players go to Man United and underperform. You're telling me if Casemiro leaves in January that he doesn't up his game for whatever club he goes to? Guaranteed.
That comment you just put up. No, but that comment you just put up there, saying Varane would hold bench to Saliba, yeah, but he's holding bench to Maguire and Johnny Evans at the moment.
Let me say this. Do you know what that's like? It's like when the man down there has got that fine bed, but he still goes out of his way to cheat with the big thing in the club. Why?
I was waiting what you said to. You said the big thing,
Everyone's got one of them boys. Everyone's got one of them boys. You've got a nice girl at home. You've got the wife at home, but you still go out a road and do a madness with some big.
Listen, everybody knows, what you have to do, bro. You cheat on a girl with a dead team because you practice the new moves. You try and hold in your thing and then you go home and you get me. But anyway, more to the point.
You know what? Why are you telling yourself? Why are you telling people?
Don't give up picking up.
This is therapy.
I did not endorse this.
Listen, man. Drake said BB. Listen, Drake did say that every girl needs love, man. BBW is what it is, but not for me, man. I'm reformed in it. I'm a good guy, but I will be real with you though. I tell you why I won't take reformed because
that's what I'm thinking. Man said reformed, you know.
Pete said something very, 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 very true. Yeah, but listen, for me, when players down tools like that, I don't want to take them because I've had enough of that at Arsenal with Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, Mustafi, Kalashnikov. So for me, when you got players like that who pick and choose when they want to play well, I don't want that. So yes, quality-wise, of course, I'll take him at Arsenal because I'm not going to say he's better than Gabriel. I think Gabriel's a great centre back, but I'm not going to take him over them because for me, I feel like Gabriel puts in every single. And if you make a mistake, it happens. But I don't want players that are going to pick and choose, because when you've got vermin like that, and I'm not talking about Varane, I'm just saying when you've got players like that, you then put yourself in a position where you can't rely on them. And the worst thing in any, listen, everybody knows in this panel, you've got girls, friends, you can't rely on people. It's the worst experience ever, man. So you can't do that, man. So for me, I wouldn't take him out.
Do you think he's down tools? Varane, do you think he's down tools?
Look at that performance.
You watched that performance. Did you see the video? Did you watch the video?
Which one?
Bro, he's vexed. The way he came on, yeah, and he didn't look at the manager. The manager didn't give him the set of tactics.
Yes.
He then walked over. And then Varane, Onana grabbed him and said, "Yo, bro, man, I know you're fuming, but play for the team, innit, man? Come on, man."
And then when you've got players like he's vexed. His head's gone. So for me, you can't trust them kind of players. And look at the money he's on. You're meant to be the most experienced guy.
Yeah, but you need to.
But you know, with Ten Hag, though, how do we know how man management? Hold on a minute. The man management of Ten Hag, though, behind the scenes, bro.
Got me questions.
Sometimes it's like a situation of, yo, like, okay, tell me. It's like me now. I used to be a teacher, yeah. And sometimes when a kid is in trouble, yeah, okay, it's the way you speak to them as well. You know, if you treat them like shit and you start to kind of say, you know what I mean? You know, you're trying to, your ego gets the better of you. I feel like with Ten Hag, he's using his ego and his kind of state too much. Okay, he's in the wrong and he's not training well, but say it in a way that's professional. You're talking about
this is my point.
You know what I mean?
This is my point, and you've used the teacher reference. So if you're seeing someone that is feeling a certain type of way, you kind of take them in, you take them under your wing, and you kind of show them that they're loved and that they're appreciated and that you want the absolute best for them.
Yeah.
You're telling me that an arm around Varane from Klopp doesn't change his mentality and brings back that competitive edge. You're telling me that Pochettino doesn't get an arm around him and says, "You're my guy, I want the best from you." You're telling me that Eddie Howe, Mikel Arteta, Pep Guardiola of all managers, you're telling me that those managers are not going to put an arm around him and say, "You know what? You're my guy. You are one of the best centre-backs that has played this game in the last 10 or 15 years. I want that guy back." You're telling me that that's not going to make him feel 10 foot tall and perform. Guaranteed, which is why I said every single other team on this panel would get a better version of the Varane that you have seen. There is no doubt about it. So yes,
but why did he think it's acceptable?
You wouldn't necessarily start in everyone's defense, but I tell you what,
is it acceptable?
A hell of a lot better performances.
Why is it acceptable to go to Man United and allow your own career to go out the way they are? Because they're all going out bad. No one's going out with a bang. They're all going out like damp squibs. So why is Man U become
it's a toxic environment?
It's a great environment. It's a graveyard.
It's a graveyard. It's a graveyard. Listen, Varane was. I thought for me, Varane was our best defender until he got injured start of the season, and then he came back, and for all of a sudden he got dropped. He got played. He got dropped, and then all of a sudden something must have happened. But you know what it is, yeah. Why is it like I don't know? A lot of people think get your head down and start working, but if you know you're better than Maguire and Evans, you know that you're better than them, and the manager just purposely might be telling him, "Yo, you got to work hard," you know. Bro, put them extra, hard yards in. Do it, you know. And it's like, come on, man, you starting to patronize me now,
bro.
Like,
and I think it's. Look, I know I can't remember who it was, but sometimes it was about a player once where people. I think it's probably Ronaldo, where people were saying, but there has to be a different treatment because it's Ronaldo, right? The truth is, at the moment where Man United are, everything that is going on with their club, like literally, they can't catch a break. Let's be real. I want to slander United on everything, but even the little thing like Rashford's brother in America, it's like everything.
Well, that's the media. That's the media, man.
No, but that's the truth.
He got locked up in October.
But that's what I mean. They're saving it, bro. And if you imagine your Varane,
wasn't recent.
No, it was a while ago, but it's been released.
Media are so bad what they're doing because they know.
But here's the thing: if you're Casemiro and you're Varane, you're looking at where you were 14 months ago, yeah, and now you're looking at where you are and the absolute circus that is going on, right? And then you've got your manager telling you, boys, you need to work a bit harder if you want to get in over McTominay, Evans, and Maguire. Yeah. although I do get it, that you know what, you should have to earn your place. At the same time, if you're Casemiro and you're Varane, and this is getting towards the twilight of your career, and you're thinking, hold on a minute, this is not the project that we bought into. When we had conversations with the board, the people that came to sell the project to us, this is not what they sold us. This is a circus. And then you got the manager doing that. I can see how it could be like, this club's taking the piss out of my life right now.
But that's why I always said that. That's why I said that that Casemiro in his 30s on a 5-year deal at 70 odd million was never good business in the long term. It's poor. Like you get 1 or 2 good years, it's terrible. Listen, like it doesn't make any sense at all. Like yes, he's
before you go, Lee. Before you go, I got this super chat. Big up from Tariq, my guy. Tariq says the team was built around him and the back line and CDM last year. This year it's McSauce and Maguire. It's obvious Ten Hag's an arrogant fraud will die on his ideas. Listen, Ten Hag is a stubborn man, and this is what he's doing. He's trying to make a point to the detriment of the team. He's trying to say, yo, I will rest my laurels on Maguire and Johnny Evans, and then when we go, shit goes up. They have a ceiling. Maguire has a ceiling, and if you're going to continue to play him, that's on you then, isn't it? I know we haven't got options, don't get me wrong. But McTominay, nah, man. You got Amrabat in there. Amrabat is your guy.
What's up to this Amrabat hype? Where's that Amrabat hype, bro? Where's that Amrabat hype?
Yeah.
Bro, I think he's a good player. Listen, I've watched Fiorentina a lot last year. I watch Serie A regularly. Amrabat is a good player. He's a good player. He progresses the ball well. He's a good defensive midfielder. Honestly, he's got one of the best stats in the Serie A. Go watch it.
Why is he not starting game? Why is he not starting game?
I don't know, because
Casemiro's out, and surely Amrabat plays, but he's not playing.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Why is Mount not playing? Why?
I don't know.
You know
just make sure you win tomorrow. Just make sure you win tomorrow because I need Ten Hag to stay in. You can do win, lose. Just do that.
Lose, bro. Lose. Luton.
Oh, lose and we're done.
Luton at home. Lose. You must win, bro. You must
win. No. This is for the greater good for the Premier League because we want to see more controversy. I want to see more emergency streams.
Now hold on, Lee. Are you thinking that if they get a different manager that this circus isn't going to continue? It's just going to be a new guy in the red jacket.
No, you're right. But Ten Hag is bad. I said this from last season. He's very, very bad. So for me, I just want him to stay so he keeps coming out with these lunatic statements and his weird formations and he's picking better players.
Sorry. And these comments here, everyone is forgetting. There's always an excuse with these, everyone's forgetting that Amrabat did not have a preseason. Yeah, that is true. Do you know what happened to Julian? But 100%, bro. Julian Alvarez, last season. Hold on. No. Julian Alvarez had no preseason, right? He went from winning trophies in Argentina to meeting up with the City team on their preseason tour, came back, played in a World Cup, won a FA Cup, won a Premier League, won a Champions League without a preseason.
He wasn't playing consistently, though. He wasn't playing consistently, though. He wasn't. There was no.
I guarantee you, he's playing as regular. I guarantee you, he's playing as regular as Amrabat was, bro. He was playing because he was playing on the wing.
Yeah, but why didn't you get the business done? Why didn't you get the business done? You should have signed him.
Season, give me a second.
We didn't sign him.
You should have got him in so he could have had a pre-season. Why are you waiting so long to bring him in?
They didn't have money though. They don't have money.
So we bought him on loan.
This is a loan deal.
50 million on fucking Mount. He had the money. They just spunked it up the wrong.
There you go.
The manager wanted him, innit? But ultimately, 100%. I just want Man United to keep the manager so that we can keep doing these weekly back and forth where we keep having a good old laugh at Saeed and all that stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. So
Arsenal just needs to stay.
Arsenal are going to win. Arsenal are going to win. Arsenal are going to win tomorrow. So I'm calm.
He needs to stay. He just needs to stay till December 6th when we come to Old Trafford. Side, I'll see you outside there, mate. Just stay till then, and then I'm happy. You can go after that.
Shaky.
Well, I think Chelsea. Look at Chelsea fans. We beat you last year, man. You're talking about
everyone did, bro.
You haven't beat. When's the last time you beat United? When was the last time you beat United on our ground?
2,500 minutes last season.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Mate, we haven't beaten you for a long time. It's overdue.
Yeah, man. Listen, if there's one guarantee, it's beating Chelsea, man. You know
Mate,
what I mean? If there's one guarantee, it's beating Chelsea.
I'll be there. 1 month's time,
You
I'll
know
be
the
there.
one's there, bro. Like, I'm not gonna take no banner from Chelsea. But listen, before I know people talk about Amrabat, yeah, 2012, yeah, Rabbi, it's crazy, it's crazy. But anyway, I want to discuss because you're talking about Amrabat, yeah. What about your boy Partey? Is that we don't want to talk about
Partey? Missing.
Now, before you go, big up to my guy Tariq says, no, please, Ten Hag out ASAP. Listen, man, I'm speaking the same hymn sheet, bro. So sooner he goes, the better, man. You know what I mean? Ten Hag out all day long, man. But go on. Listen, that song, I hate that song, man. Honestly. No, you know why? Everyone's singing that song now. Now Newcastle fans singing the song. Everyone's singing it. I hate you, I hate you,
the best one is, do you know what? Now Southampton, Southampton fans have gone and got one. Yeah, Southampton fans are singing it about Portsmouth now as well. They've just changed the words slightly to like.
No way.
Yeah. Chelsea is singing it about Cole Palmer. They've taken the song and turned it into a Cole Palmer chant now as well. But anyway, the mad thing is we were actually singing it in Istanbul. That's when we started singing it, saying Glazers stay in 10 more years. And it's like, how did we know? We had you man was still thinking Qatar were coming in back in June, where City were in the new. We knew it wasn't.
To be fair, in the cup daps, we changed it. We jumped on that bandwagon and we changed it a little something.
Crazy, man.
And Saeed was there. He
was there, man. He was there, bro.
Jordies just pumping that out.
Bro, they're all
we blew you guys away that night, man. You guys.
Yeah. No, listen,
you know what? Old Trafford don't sing anymore. Old Trafford does not.
No, we don't know. Listen, man. The biggest thing we're doing is
out-sings you guys every game. Every game.
You know what? It's crazy, man. But listen, man, the last point I wanted to make was Partey. Just a quick one, Goodly, before we wrap up, man.
Missing in action.
Partey is this. What's that?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's peak. It's peak, man. He's man. He's
Wow.
out until the New Year's. Yeah, it's peak. Yeah, but no, he's out for the New Year. He's out until the New Year. Sorry, and we're gonna have to keep playing Jorginho. But you know what? The only thing, the negative is he's out injured, and he's obviously, as Charlie said, always missing, never there. But I have to say, Declan Rice, man, like, what a player! And again, that's not to deflect away from Partey at all. I don't want to do that.
Would you sell him in January? Would you get rid of Partey in January?
You know what, Charlie? Right? I tell you what it is for me. Like, Partey's an excellent player. He's absolutely elite on his day, but they're just too far between. Like, he's just never fit. Like, so I probably would have to get rid of him and get someone else in, get another number 8. I don't know, like a sort of backup 6 or something like that. So, you know, I think there was links to that same guy that Liverpool linked to, Andre, but
Andre, we're linked with him as well.
Yeah, apparently he's going to Fulham or something like that. But listen, I don't know who it is. I don't know who we're going to get, but I feel like we need to get another centre back or another defender, and I definitely think we need to get a sort of midfielder because, as you so rightly put, man, like Partey, you just can't rely on him. He's always missing. But yeah, man, I'm not going to be the one of those fans that switch up on him because the quality is there. He is an elite player, but he's just never fit. But Declan Rice, honestly, the guy is like, I don't know what listen, Pete, I'm sure you was at the game last week, and whatever I think about Newcastle and Arsenal's performances, I'm sure you can admit that seeing him up live in person, Declan Rice, he's just a monster, man. Like, he's just so good. So
two players. Look, I'm going to big up the win because I think it was a great win.
Yeah, fair enough.
But and all that VAR and all that bullshit.
I
don't agree with that. But it is what it is. Two players from Arsenal that stood out. Declan Rice was outstanding, and Saliba, he's an absolute monster. He's changed my mindset on how good he is. He for me is probably the leading centre back in this Premier League. There's no doubt about it. He is absolutely. I knew that guy over there would be against it. But I've seen it up close and personal. That guy is top quality. No doubt about it. But going back to my point, I'm always going to bring Newcastle into it. You know, I thought we give as good as what we got, and I thought we out battled Arsenal, and I think we deserved the win. I really do.
No, absolutely, man. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap up here, man. It's been a good show, man. Honestly, Premier League debate show. It's normally on a Thursday, people, but because of the fixtures and whatnot, we put it on a Friday. But next week we'll be back on Thursday. Big up the lads, Charlie. It's been a pleasure, man. Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, mate, as it is on the screen at Blue Brother CFC. Nearly, it's about not too many away from 7K. So if anyone wants to subscribe, help me get to 7K, that'd be greatly appreciated. So yeah, just as it is on the screen. So feel free to subscribe, guys. Be appreciated. But yeah, thanks for having me on as always, Saeed.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Daps, been a pleasure, man. Never a foul.
I love having me on, man. Catch me on Never a Foul. Twice a day, usually. Sometimes once a day, but never a foul. Get over there. Love.
Yeah, absolutely. Errol, been a pleasure, man. Big up to you.
As always, boys, big up the panel, big up the chat as well. I'm about to jump out and watch Force Power. Get in there. I seen Kyle putting in the chat there that it blows up in the last episode, so no spoilers.
Oh, is it already out? It's already out.
Oh, bro, yeah, I'm going to watch that.
Bro, man, listen. Listen, tomorrow night.
Power,
that's me tomorrow night.
Tommy, man, he's about to light people up like Christmas. But yeah,
I'll be back on spoilers, man.
I'll be back on Redmen TV come Sunday for the watch along. So you get all your watch along fixed there. And Solace side up on Twitter. Go follow the at there in the chat as well. So big up everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And also big up to Pete as well. Big up to you for coming on as well.
Yeah, Load Mag NFC. I've seen a few in the chat that are saying they've subbed to us all, which massively appreciated. We're on our way to 7K ourselves. Big game. Bournemouth away. We need to get those 3 points, continue up the league. But yes, always a pleasure. Never a chore on this channel. Great chat, great boys, great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Lee, man, listen, controversial, but listen, always shows up, man. 100%. That's what it is, man.
You know what? It's fair play because last week I was pissed off with that Newcastle result, but I did watch Pete's post match, and yeah, it was good. Listen, I don't like your team, but you did some good shit there. So fair play. Don't make sure. No, it wasn't what I wanted to hear, but yeah, look, I did watch it in the background. I was sitting there quiet. I was gonna type a few things in there.
You should have come in, bro. You should have come in next time, bro.
Listen, my head was gone, man. My head was gone. But no, listen, I appreciate coming on the show, and yeah, listen, next week. There's going to be someone on this show with tears, so let's see who it is, man. It won't be me.
Well, I don't know, man. Yeah, you can't speak too soon, man. Well, we'll see. We'll see, man. But listen, people, if you could like the video on your way out, it'd be amazing. Let's get up to 500 likes, man. That would be amazing. Kind of simple. I think we're on currently 397. So 100 likes on your way out, people. And like I said, I'll see you tomorrow for match day versus Luton. Hopefully 3 points. So we'll see. But pick up to everybody. Premier League Debate Show.